4:30 on Friday, October the 22nd, 2021, and I'm on the grounds of the fair in Aiken, South Carolina, also known as the Western Carolina Fair. And it's about 30 minutes before our opening time. And everybody kind of has that quiet, amped up anticipation of the crowds. This is Ridehofer, the ride company. They like to get out and man the booths an hour before setup, and they even open the gates an hour before setup. So this is a little odd to not see people already walking around, but it is still the first day. Look at that gorgeous morning. Had a little rainstorm this morning too. It's Monday, October the 25th, 2021. And 8:30 in the morning. Now, trust me when I say you didn't miss much. All I did was just draw a bunch of pictures, which is good. That's the way I like it. That's why I'm here. But there was one incident that happened on Saturday night at about 11 o'clock. Things got a little crazy. We were supposed to go until 12. It was supposed to be one of those midnight madness fair nights. But about 11, we started having people just like running out of here. And they were going, oh, somebody's got a gun, so they're going to start shooting. And I was like, oh, really? I've been in Florida. I've heard this one a bunch of times. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm thinking somebody probably punched someone, and then somebody talked about it and said, oh, did you hear about that? There was this, somebody punched somebody. And the next person says, yeah, there was this huge fight over there. And the next person says, yeah, there was this big fight and this person pulled out a gun. And the next person will talk about it and say, oh, this big fight, somebody pulled out a gun, shot somebody. And the next person will be like, they're shooting people over there. And it builds like that. I've seen it. It happens a lot, especially at fairs. It just swirls and swirls, and you can't tell what the truth is. And as it turns out, that's exactly what happened. And it was over here somewhere by the gate, either out in the parking lot or by the gate somewhere. And it was a fight. I think somebody pulled out a gun and brandished it. But as I'm going back to my camper, I'm looking over at the parking lot. There's police cars coming in. They're evacuating everybody out. They even said the fair's getting shut down, like I said, 11. But I didn't see any ambulances coming in, no fire trucks coming in. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, there was a shooting out here and there's no fire trucks or ambulances. Right. Yeah, somebody just pulled out a gun and brandished it. I don't even know if it was a real gun, but there was no shooting. And we end up losing an hour of good, productive work on a Saturday night. Saturdays only come once a week now. Good grief, man. It sucked. I probably could have made another couple $100 at least. There you go. Some people just don't know how to behave themselves and they ruin it for everybody else. And then a bunch of people run their mouths. Anyway, normally this fair is not like that. Normally this fair the people are very nice and well behaved. And I still believe for the most part that's very true about out here in Aiken, South Carolina. The people are they're fantastic. I haven't had a single bad experience drawing pictures. I haven't had anybody say, oh, that sucks, I don't look like me, or, getting ugly with me at all. It doesn't happen out here. The people are just genuinely nice. So, I don't know. I'm going to call that an anomaly. I'm going to call that an isolated incident that doesn't reflect the greater pleasantness of the people of Aiken. All right. Okay, I'm done rambling. You know what? Today, I have to leave because I have to go to the Gateway Fair over in Lake City, Florida, which starts on Friday. And so all I was here for was this weekend, and Susan is coming in later, and she's got to set up in this same spot. So I got to get this out of here, and then before 4 o'clock, we got to get her tent set up in the same place. So let's get to it. About 10:45 now, and done. We're all packed up. And none too soon, because here we are. Susan is here. Rockstar Susan, setting up right in the spot. They actually pulled up right as I was taking the last steak out of the ground, so perfect timing.
Edit it if it's dumb, right?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Alright.
You can play Wind Beneath My Wings?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, that sounds good. You can do that.
Am I on right now?
The tent is set up. It's a little low.
What? Oh, it is.
It's a little low. Manufactured that way, which I don't know. They're going to try to do something to get that fixed. So last time we saw Susan was at the Tampa Fair, and just to refresh your memory, she did the story about
the couple, my favorite couple.
Right, the old couple that had the suggestion. I can still remember what it was. Never make it hard for your partner to love you.
To make you happy.
Ah, to make you happy, right. And you also had the story about how you got confused between the words toupee.
Oh, yes. When I was at the restaurant.
And to pay.
Yeah. Where can I pay?
Where can I pay and toupee.
Yeah.
Where do I go to
Where do I get a toupee around here?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys will remember that. She is taking over while I head to the next fair, and she's got herself a flute.
Yeah,
now.
I have lots of talents, and before I became an artist, I was wanting to be a flute player, and my dream when I was 9 years old was to be able to play my flute on the moon. I wanted to be an astronaut and also a flautist. It's a 9-year-old dream. But anyways, so I was at the, I think I was in Connecticut, and I had just got done with the New Jersey Rutherford Fair. And there was a pawn shop, and they had a flute. And so I've been practicing playing the flute.
It's a brand new looking flute from a pawn shop. This is definitely something I would do.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, and before you go, real quick, how has your year been so far since we saw you last?
It's been great. I think people are just so excited to be out.
I have said the same thing many times. They're just so amped up and ready to be out again.
I mean, it's so nice.
We're at the end of 2021 and people are still amped up and ready to get out.
Yeah, it's just people just seem a lot more grateful, one, to work and make money, but also being able to go out and spend money. It's a lot different, a lot more of a different energy than BC times.
Before. I can't even say the word. It's YouTube.
It's BC times.
BC times.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to start the song. I'm going to turn the camera around just so we can focus on you a little better. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my mom's calling.
I think that's it for Susan. And I guess, and if she gets overwhelmed tonight, I guess I can always come in, but I'm going to go. Yeah, this is Susan's fair now.
Yay! Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Since I got the rest of the day off, I figure why not do a little thrift store hopping, starting with this one out here. ACTS, Axe. It's I think it's connected to some kind of charity or church. Here we got Bloom County, Tunes of Your Times, and it's by Burke Breathed. I never could pronounce his last name, but story has it that he dropped out of art college, because his professors and everybody told him he just could not draw. And he went on to create this comic strip and become one of the great syndicated comics of that time period, the heyday for syndicated comic strips like Calvin and Hobbes and The Far Side. And this one was right up there with it. I've always found it funny, although the politics of it I find very wrong. This is very left-leaning, but entertaining at the same time. There's no denying the energy that's in the drawings. And he's even said that in some of his. You read some of his writings, he'll say, if you care about the characters in the story and what you're telling, then that energy comes through in the drawings, and you can feel that here. I think I might just get this. Okay, a few video games here. I really hope this one's actually in there. It says it's Mortal Kombat versus DC. Please be in here. And it is. It's here. Ended up spending a total of $5.25 in there. And what I got, I think you guys are going to like. First off, you already saw the loose video game, Mortal Kombat vs. DC. That turned out to be $1. And then the collection of obscure sequels continues to grow. This one is The Great Escape 2. Now, it seems like since this one is completely made up, they're taking full advantage of that and making it more into an action kind of movie here. So, yeah, the Nazis are going to feel the wrath of the retribution of what they did in the first movie, apparently. And then some cookbooks. You already know about this one. You know, something I didn't say about this, too, was that this artist, if you've seen the movie Secondhand Lion, his artwork is actually featured in that movie, and participating in it inspired him actually to come back and start doing newspaper comics. I think they were just Sunday comics for a brief period, so I'm not sure what he's doing now. Alright, so as far as cookbooks go, I got the grill book, and the reason why I got this one is it's thin, it's not going to take up a whole lot of room, and it also has a lot of shish kebab recipes for more than just meats. It even has a grilled polenta in here. So I do, oh yeah, fish steaks. I really wanted to have some good instructions on how to cook those, because I do want to do that. And then I got cheesecake, sweet, and savory. Now this word right here kind of gave me pause. How are we going to have a savory cheesecake? I guess cheese in itself is technically a savory thing. But now I've got an entire book on how to make cheesecake, so I'm sure that'll come in handy. And then we've got no-bake desserts. Of course, that appealed to me because of my love for Jell-O, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Jell-O in these recipes if they're no-bake. Yeah, but you got, I mean, you make pies like this without even needing to heat up the oven. So that's That's interesting. And then I think the big score of the day is this one here. This is more Joys of Jell-O. This is actually the third Jell-O book that I have found. I got just the Joy of Jell-O. I found that one at a like an antique kind of barn place out in Indiana. I didn't show that because if I showed every time I went to a thrift store, you guys would be seeing so much of it you would get sick of all the thrift store hopping. But just know, I already got the Joy of Jell-O. Now I have more Joys of Jell-O. This one is actually published by the Jell-O company, and the copyright date on this one is not Great Depression era. It is 1993. So this one is specializing in more of what we know Jell-O to be used as, desserts. So now I've got a way to really make the more traditional 90s to mid-2000s style Jell-O desserts. So that makes Jell-O book number 3. Wahoo! Alright, that does it for the first place. Let's go on to the next one. And now we're just doing the traditional Salvation Army. Now, if you'll remember, last year I got a bamboo serving tray from here that I'm still using to this day to make sandwiches on in my camper. So let's go on in and see if they got anything else useful this time. With they call this? A rolling panel bread box, and also a wood panel microwave. Oh yeah. With no rotating tray. They've got all the different things that you commonly cook in the microwave all dialed out right there for you. You set the time. Kind of disappointing. Didn't really find anything useful in there except for one 99-cent DVD. This one is Leroy and Stitch. I've already seen, of course, Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch, and now this one, Leroy and Stitch. It looks like they're going with the evil twin kind of story this time. And on the back, you've got like an army of Leroys. It looks like that he's created or cloned or whatever, so that might be interesting. Stitch has a glitch was entertaining in its own way. I don't think it was for the reasons that they intended. I thought it was funny how mincing around Bleakley was throughout the entire thing. Yeah, Disney, we understand what your priorities are. You've made it obvious for a long time. Alright, let's get on to the next one. Alright, time for the old standby, Goodwill. These plushies here, this was a children's book character called Little Critter. I used to read these books when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not nostalgic about it enough to buy the plushies though. Surprisingly enough, it says copyright 2014, but it even says it right there, littlecritter.com. It must be a series that's still ongoing. This is a good example of why I'm not so big on Goodwill anymore. This Instapot, if you remember, I got one, actually I think a little bit bigger, at Trader Baker's in Indiana for $15. Which was a fantastic deal because brand new, they typically go for $55 to $100. But this one, they've got it looks brand new as well. It's going for $35, $53. So yeah, Goodwill has started to become a little more of a profit store than a, I don't know, well, you would think of as a thrift store or a charity shop. You know, you're not getting the deals like you used to. This is still a deal, but it's certainly not like it used to be. The pasta machine. If y'all remember, it was about this time last year I found a brand new pasta machine still in the box with the manual and the instructional video. So I'm not going to need this, but it's kind of neat to see them again. I just saw them in Walmart the other day, so apparently that's going to be a Christmas thing this year. To do the pasta machine again. So I'm not going to unscrew that. There's the die right there. Yeah, but look at that. This one's going for $35. And this nice big bread machine, which is something I am kind of looking for. I want a hefty bread machine with a square loaf and lots of ways to customize your settings. But this one's going for $70. Come on, Goodwill, what happened to you? V3 race wheel, and this one is for the PlayStation 2. Going for $15. That's actually not bad. It's not too bad a race wheel, but I've already got it. Now that's gonna strike some people's nostalgia bone right there. That little logo, Sierra. This is You Don't Know Jack, Volume 2, the irreverent trivia game for like the Windows 98 era, I believe, 95, 98, and it was great. I loved it. It was funny, it was irreverent, it was, yeah, but I've already got like 2 copies of it, so we're not going to do that today. Well, it strikes me as a little odd that the place that has the worst deals was the most crowded place. There was a ton of people in there. I must have spent at least 15 minutes just waiting through the checkout line. And yes, I did go through the checkout line. I did find one thing, and it was for $1. And it was a cookbook. I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, he's buying up so many cookbooks and he's not putting out any cooking videos. I will. Christmas season, I'm going to be putting out cooking videos. That's when I'll be back in the studio during the... Anyway, so... You know that one of my favorite things to make is Jell-O, and the second would be cooking things in the slow cooker or the crock pot. So I found this. This is a nice, thick book, and I loved that every recipe is set out very simply, and it has a picture of the way it's supposed to look when it's finished. So you've got your ingredients, your instructions, and your picture. And just about every recipe goes just like that. And they don't require you to have a lot of fancy garnishes or stuff on the, to finish it off. It's some very basic stuff. And yeah, there was even a recipe in here for a beef stroganoff, which that's probably going to be the first thing that I make in here. I had plenty of time to look through the book as I was waiting through the checkout line. It looks like it was eventually discounted and sold at an Ollie's for only $13, and then whoever bought that eventually gave it to Goodwill, and it was sold again, this time for only $1. So this book has not been showed a whole lot of love, but I plan on showing it some love. And it's even got this little extra selling point sticker on the bottom that says lies flat when open. So if you're wanting to just lay it on the counter so you can refer back to it and not worry about it flipping closed on you, they've made it at just the right size where it will do that. So you can see it sits flat. And yeah, so that to me is kind of a good little selling point. See, just lays there. I love it. I love it. So that does it for Goodwill. Alright, I'm gonna find myself something to eat now. I'm getting hungry. Well, I'm not proud of myself, but I defaulted to the convenience over quality option of Panda Express. And here we are. Alright, let me just put you guys down right here. And before we end things out, let's just go ahead and read what my fortune is. You will obtain your goal if you maintain your course. Well, that's good to know. Should we try the in-bed thing? No, let's not do that. This is supposed to be family-friendly. Guys, if you've enjoyed this at all, make sure to indicate so by giving me that good old thumbs up like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to turn on the bell for all notifications. I will talk to you down in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Boy, that is really not good.